14 of the fantasy basketball season, and only 3 weeks left to the fantasy basketball playoffs. At this time, these are crucial waiver wire ads, and here's a few forwards I would look to add on waivers this week. The first guy is James Ennis or the Orlando Magic. So the Magic, there's going to be a lot of guys this week on the waiver wire that are going to definitely benefit from all the trades the Magic made of Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, and Nikola Vukovic traded out of town. So James Ennis on the season, he's ranked 206, 7.8 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 1.1 threes, 48% from the field, and 79% from the foul line. So pretty solid numbers with his percentages. A decent rebounder as well in limited time this season. And he could score the basketball in the last few weeks now since the playing time's gone up. He's ranked 200th in the time. 10.6 points a game, 4.4 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 2 threes a game, 81% from the foul line, and 44% from the field. So Ennis, he's been playing about 25 to 35 minutes a game since the trades went down on the March 25th NBA trade deadline. March 24th versus Phoenix, 5 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. March 26th versus Portland, 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 threes. And then last night at the Lake is not that great of a game though. 9 points, 4 rebounds, and a 3. But he did play 27 minutes. So the Magic here, they're depleted. A lot of guys, like I said, are on the waiver wire list this week. And James Ennis, even with Terrence Ross coming back, I still think he'll have a role of 20 to 25 minutes a game, and he'll help fantasy owners in 3-point shooting. And he'll get a couple rebounds and assists as well, and he's available in 92% of leagues. So Ennis will be the first ad. The second guy's ad on waivers this week is James Ennis' teammate, Chuma Okey of the Orlando Magic. So Okey, he's been a hot pickup already in the last couple days, and since the deals went down, and he might be the best pickup out of all the Magic guys I mentioned in these waiver wire videos that you should get this week. Okey, he's up 13%, and he's owned in 42% of fantasy leagues. But owners, they should go out there and get him right now while he's still available in 58% of fantasy leagues. On the season, he's ranked 239th in fantasy basketball, 5.7 points a game, 3.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.13 a game, 41% from the field, and 64% from the line. But the last couple weeks, since he's starting to get more playing time, 9.4 points a game, 4.1 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 2 threes a game, 52% from the field, and 75% from the foul line. So Okey, in the last 3 games now since the trade deadline, his minutes have gone way up, and the production has definitely been great. And right now, this Magic team, they're going to see what they have with the young guys. They dumped their 3 best players off at the deadline. And now it's all about building for the future and the young ball players here. And I think Okey, he could be part of this Magic future, and he could be a good player. He could score the basketball. He's a pretty decent rebounder, and he's a definitely stretch forward as well. March 24th versus Phoenix, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 3-pointers. March 26th versus the Portland Trailblazers, 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 4 threes. And last night at the Los Angeles Lakers, another good game, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 3-pointers. So Okey, he's going to have a definite role. The only real players they got in those trades were the Magic, were Wendell Carter Jr. and Otto Porter Jr. But Otto Porter, there's rumblings he might get bought out. So if he gets bought out, that's more playing time for Okey and James Ennis. And Okey, he's definitely an ad this week. The next guy is Bogdanovic of the Atlanta Hawks. So he's shown some flashes over the last few weeks since he came back from injury, is Bogdanovic. But he's got to be more consistent, and he's just got to play better for this Hawk team. And this Hawk team, they didn't make many moves during the trade deadline. They just traded Rajon Rondo away for Lou Williams. But Rondo, he was barely playing this season as it was. On the season, Bogdanovic, he's ranked 193 in fantasy basketball, 10.1 points a game, 3.1 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 2 threes a game, 93% from the foul line, and 41% from the field. So Bogdanovic, we know he's a good free throw shooter. We know he can hit threes, but his field goal percentage is way down this season. But the last couple weeks, the numbers, they bumped up just a bit. 13.1 points a game, 2.4 boards, 2.4 assists, 2.3 threes a game, and 50% from the field. So Bogdanovic, he's still going to get every opportunity to play 20 to 30 minutes a game for this Atlanta Hawk team. They gave him a big $70 million contract this offseason, and he obviously didn't get traded at the deadline. So now the Hawks, they're stuck with him for now, and he's going to play, and hopefully he produces. March 24th at his former team, Sacramento, 20 points, 4 rebounds, and assists, 2 steals, and 4 threes. March 26th at the Golden State Warriors, 11 points, a rebound, 5 assists, a steal, and a 3. And then last night at Denver, 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, a steal, and a 3-pointer. So he's going to hit 3-pointers. He'll score probably 12 to 15 points a game range, is Bogdanovic. I'm not going to expect huge numbers out of him, but he's a player who's out there in 49% of fantasy leagues. And the good thing about him, he qualifies at shooting guard, small forward, and powered forward. So that's pretty good versatility. And as long as he's playing the 25 to 30 minutes a game like he has been, he's definitely worth an ad. The next forward's Paul Millsap of the Denver Nuggets. So the Nuggets, I know they traded for Aaron Gordon as the big acquisition for them at the trade deadline, and also getting JaVale McGee in a deal. But Paul Millsap, he still produces. He's still putting up decent numbers. And the last couple weeks, he's bursted back onto the fantasy scene. He's went up 4% in the last few days. But he's still available in 63% of fantasy leagues. On the season, he's ranked 125 on the year, 9.7 points a game, 5.1 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.1 threes a game, 69% from the foul line, and 50% from the field. But the last few weeks for Millsap, 9.5 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists a game, 75% from the foul line, and 50% from the field. So he's putting up pretty solid numbers. His percentages are good. He's playing about 20 to 30 minutes a game as well as Millsap. But I know with Gordon and McGee as new additions, the minutes might go down. But right now, he's a guy out there who can help you in a few categories. And he's putting up some decent games. March 24th at Toronto, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a 3. March 26th at the Pelicans, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 threes. And then last night versus former team, the Atlanta Hawks, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal from Millsap. So Millsap will score at a decent rate, 10 to 12 points a game about. He'll get 5 or 6 rebounds. He'll give you a decent field goal percentage and a pretty solid free throw percentage as well. And he's getting about 3 or 4 assists a game of late. And he's worth an ad in my opinion. And if his playing time just goes down or whatever, then you drop him. And the 5th and final forward, I've looked at on waivers this week's Danny Green of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Danny Green, he's been picking things up of late, especially while Joel Embiid's been injured. So he's had to pick up more of a scoring role for this Sixer team. On the season, he's ranked 85th in fantasy basketball, 9.7 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.3 threes a game, 2.6 threes a game, 70% from the foul line, and 41% from the field. But the last few weeks, since Embiid went down with the injury, Danny Green's been real solid, 15.1 points a game, 2.9 rebounds, 4.3 threes a game, 2 steals a game, a block a game, 45% from the field, and 100% from the foul line, even though he's been limited at going to the line. So Danny Green, he's playing a major role, and he's a veteran. And if the Sixers somehow win the title this year, he'll be the first player in NBA history to be on 3 different teams and win 3 titles in a row. So that would be some accolade for Danny Green. And the last few games, March 23rd at Golden State, 11 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and 3 threes. March 25th, it was a revenge game for him versus former team at the Los Angeles Lakers, who pretty much just dumped them off here this offseason. 28 points, 5 rebounds, 8 threes, a steal, and 2 blocks. And then a couple nights ago at the Clippers, 17 points and 5 threes. So you know what you're going to get from Green. You're going to get 3-point shooting. You'll get double-digit scoring. And you'll get a few rebounds and maybe a steal or 2 a game. So Danny Green, he definitely can help fantasy owners. And he's out there in 55% of fantasy leagues. So that's a few forwards I'll look to add on waivers this week in Week 14 of the fantasy basketball season.